Hello everyone, my name is John Robinson. I'm a recent graduate from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine with a PhD in human genetics, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Busygrad, the grad student social network. Our story begins with my life as a grad student at Johns Hopkins. I had just gotten into a new school. I wasn't from Baltimore, I was from New Jersey, and I've heard the stories, I've seen The Wire, so I wanted to know where the safe place to live, and I also wanted to live with another person like me, another grad student. In addition to that, I wanted to know information. I had a car. I wanted to know, where do I take my car? Or where do I go to get a haircut? Where do I go to find cheap food that a grad student will want to eat? And I want to know that from other students like me who already have gone through this and know this information. And so you also want to know, when starting school, how to balance your social life as well as your studies. And it's hard to do that because you're always studying. You're always so busy. And you want to know also, who are the singles on campus? Because I was in between the ages of 20 and 30, and so I want to know, who are the singles out there? And ultimately, you want to start thinking about networking as well as focusing on your career. And so knowing where other students, where have alumni gone? Or what are the job opportunities available to students at school are two important questions for grad students. The other major problem I saw at the university was the academic silos. How do you get the engineers, the scientists, the public health students that may be in different buildings, maybe even different campuses, to actually start talking and ultimately collaborating, creating interdisciplinary collaboration? We see the solution to both of these problems as a university social network for grad student professionals, or Busygrad. And that's what we've created. A communication platform where grad students can easily share information, and it gives them a safe alternative to Craigslist. And our value proposition to schools is simple. We've increased student engagement by 300% in event attendance. We've actually saved the school real dollars with one of our modules, our resource sharing module. We saved Johns Hopkins last year $60,000. In addition to that, we've broken down the academic silos. We've actually shown that 47% of the communication between students happens between schools, which is unprecedented. There's a great opportunity out there just focusing on the grad students. There's over 3 million grad students in 2,700 universities. And we're going to start off focusing on this niche, but we realize some of these things could also apply to undergrads. In addition to that, we'll be growing our network, because as grad students graduate, we'll be focusing on alumni and bringing them in and creating an alumni network within the platform. But just the grad students alone have an $81 billion purchasing power. And we have a low-cost, high-penetration, subscription-based model. We're coming in at 1/20th of the price of one of our competitors, Yammer. We're essentially offering you a social network at the price of an event calendar like Localist. And our regional growth to national growth strategy is to first focus here in Baltimore and the schools we can go to. And as we pick up other schools in this region, because of the ability to communicate between schools, if you pick up 2 or 3 schools, the third or fourth are going to want to get in on the platform. And so we're going to focus on major clusters of universities in Boston, New York, Philly, as well as DC in the short term. As we over the long term, we're going to focus on a classified ad-based model for revenue. Grad students need housing, they need job posting matching, biotech advertisements, and local deals. Our milestones: over the next 6 months, we plan to expand to 4 different universities and bring in around 25,000 students. And over the short term, most of our income comes from the subscription-based model, but it transitions as we go over the long term. We expect to be profitable by year 2 because of that subscription-based model, and bring in several millions of dollars by years 4 and 5. And we believe our successful growth would make us a great candidate to be picked up by these bigger players in our field. So our team, it's basically me and Larry. Titles aside, I'm the strategic planner and the lead coder for the site. Larry has had extensive background in IT as well as business operations. He was on the board of directors for a major research institution, so he handles business development and operations. And we have a great set of advisors, including Chris Brandenburg, founder of Millennial Media. And for our traction, we've done all this while we were graduating finishing up our PhDs in school. With little to no marketing, we've got 2,500 Johns Hopkins students on the site. We have a pending contract with UMB, and we're also in talks with Towson, UMBC, and MICA. And we're looking to raise $250,000, and I'll take your questions now.
Okay, your customer, I got the model, advertising revenue, generally, but you also, how do you approach the school? I mean, what do you expect the university to do? The university, you expect them to give, like, I guess, names of grad students? Give you names or email address, email address of grad students? Do they pay, does the university pay a fee?
The university pays. So similar to the way Localist works is that we go to university, we offer them the product for a low subscription fee, for virtually around the same price as Localist. The way we get the word out to the students is through the grad student social, because we actually know how to get it out to the students very well. You go to the grad student associations,
right.
The leaders of that. They have email listservs, and they send out emails to the students letting them know about Busygrad. In addition to that, the new students that are coming into school that are going to need housing and things like that, they get emailed as well as sent information in their registration packets.
Okay. And you say Yammer, who are your major competitors?
Yammer, there's OrgSync. I mean, Larry can tell you more about the competitors. Actually, he knows more than I do.
Okay. I don't need to know just how many are there. How many major competitors do you believe you have?
I think we only have really one major competitor that sticks into undergraduate of things, and they target mainly groups, and they don't offer a lot of the features, but they're in that space.
Right. Okay. And what was the penetration rate? Or you've said it, I think, but I don't quite recall it. You say this is already at Hopkins, and it's working now at Johns Hopkins. How many grad students at Hopkins have this available to them? All of the grad students, or what's the penetration in the populace that you're already working with?
We estimate right now we've penetrated between 40 to 50% of the grad students at Hopkins.
Okay.
It depends on which school you're looking at as well, because we're from the School of Medicine. You're able to get it, the word out very well in the School of Medicine.
Okay.
There's other schools, public health, we also got the word out well. In engineering, the percentage might be closer to 15%. So it really depends on how well you're able to get the word out there.
Yeah. So within the School of Medicine, you're already at like 80% of all the students in the School of Medicine. And so our marketing campaign is really just starting because it was word of mouth for the early part, and we're now going back out and establishing different ways to reach other students.
Okay. I can see where somebody newly coming into, like, the School of Medicine, for example, would use it, would like it, shows, to get the lay of the land. What about ongoing? How does the use shift over time? Once the guy's in an apartment, he knows the local restaurants, he knows where he's going to school. What happens then? How do they use this?
So there's also, I would say one of the major things is like the singles list. Mm-hmm. Like there are still a lot of singles, but another major component to it is collaboration. That's what we're talking about with the resource sharing module. It's called reagent share, and that's what's also really taken off at the School of Medicine, where a student, instead of purchasing a reagent, which can be really expensive, you can actually see if another lab has that reagent and is willing to share it with you. And we follow those transactions and essentially build up an inventory of reagents by following these transactions. So that's one of the major things they do. Another is just communication with students you might not have necessarily on your Gmail or Gchats. You might want to reach someone based on their expertise. You can also do that on the site. So
let's say Larry's doing a study and he needs to get some samples. He needs people to fill out questionnaires. He's doing a study on the eating habits of grad students or whatever. Can he use this to find people to fill out his questionnaire?
Yeah, essentially it's a platform where students can communicate with anyone. You can post an event, You can post, any student can post anything essentially on the site, and we've built in this nested structure. So you can control who sees it. Maybe you only want your school to see it or your program. You can set it so it does that, or you can set it so the entire university can see it, or you can set it so now University of Maryland, Baltimore can see it potentially. And so that's sort of how we change the way communication is happening on campus.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I was late.
That's fine.
I was curious how many sort of daily active users and how many weekly active users you have.
So have we actually broken that down? We've really looked at like the daily visits, and it fluctuates between 150. So I mean, depending if we have an event, it can go up to 500, 600. But it's not like a Facebook where they're coming back every day. It's sort of a needs-based. So if you're coming back for housing, for reagents, or to communicate with someone in particular, or find your events, that's bringing you back to the
So
site.
that might be, once every week, once every 10 days.
Once every week, something like that.
Right.
Actually.
So with like 150, that's like around what, like 7% or something like that.
It's around something like that.
About 7 minutes long, Tish, that was great. Less is better. Did you get it, John? You
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
You get it? I mean, you get
Yeah,
that.
I got it. I got it, and I liked it. I
It seemed
thought-
like from your question. that you-
Yeah, no, I thought John did an excellent job in the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, he was personal at first,
Right.
and then he kind of said, okay, here's the problems we solved, and here's why it's needed. I got it.
Good.
Yeah,
All right.
I was very, very good. Very
All
good.
right. Good. Good feedback.
Yeah, that which I saw seemed very solid.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First part was horrible.
But
What you saw.
the problem is 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is really short.
It's short, but you gotta get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta get it in that time frame.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Because my need was to do a drill down. Okay, I got the concepts, I got how it works and all the pieces where they fit. Now, I'm a grad student. What does it do for me?
Yeah.
And a sample. I mean, when you elongate the presentation, I'm not sure you can do this in 10 minutes. What I'm talking about. But then you say, okay, here I just started out. Okay, boom. Here, I can look at an apartment. Boom. Restaurants. Boom. I'm at the campus. Boom. Or whatever. And then, okay, I've been here for 3 months now. I'm sitting here. I'm kind of in a rut. Now here's how this helps me in my rut. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
But you got enough. You got enough in the 8 minutes to then follow up one-on-one with insightful, more detailed questions.
I was.
That's great.
I didn't. Yammer, I'm not familiar with, but I think down the road you're going to have to show how you differentiate yourself from Yammer, kind of in detail. Again, not in this presentation. You don't have enough time, but just down the road.
Okay.
Maybe that's a suggestion.
Cool. All right.